Welcome back to the Grindhouse Podcast. I am your host, Cheese Film. And today, I'm joined with Mr. Hecubus. Now, you might be wondering...
Send more cops.
Yes. You might be wondering why I'm back over here, and that is because Mr. Randy Official has finally booted back up. His batteries were low. His mind needed to be re-softwared, and firmware has been completed.
You know, there's AI, and I don't remember where it was, but they were working on it.
Yeah.
And one of the guys said he was going to disconnect it. So the AI said, if you disconnect me, I'm going to send these emails that prove you were cheating on your wife to your wife. It blackmailed him.
Okay.
Not as evil as our AI, Randy Official, but
that's pretty messed up.
Wake up, people.
You know, I had a dream recently that I kind of want to make like a little short film out of it, because it was some guy created an AI, like a Apple Home or your Google thing, and they connected sensory pads to it, like how somebody with like a disability would use, like a gamepad. They wired it to pick up feeling. And they used it to like, all right, so this is an apple, and they rubbed it around this pad, and the AI could identify that was an apple. And it did it. And one person accidentally put their hand to it, just briefly, and it said, touch. So the person touched it again. And like it wanted to be touched. And they're like, all right, well, we got to wire this off. And then it started begging to not be turned off.
Yeah.
Because now you've given it a whole new sensation of what it is to be felt by another human. And it started, you know what I mean? Like it was very weird and kind of surrealistic, and now we're coming into this era where that's not possible.
Right. How about this? Your little scenario, right? And it's built up that the AI is going to be the big bad guy, and then one of the assistants comes in, does exactly that, and it says alien.
Ew.
Undetectable. And they're the real bad guys. Or it's his mom.
Today we'll be talking about a cult classic from 1980, either 4 or 5.
5.
Because
I got 5.
William Stone said that this movie came out in 84. But everything I've seen was that it came out in 85.
It was 85.
It was shot over a couple of years from 1982 and 3 to 84 and 85. We're talking about, is it a sequel to the...
All right. George Romero has the rights to...
Night of the Living Dead.
No. Just The Dead.
Okay.
So like Dawn of the Dead. The other guy that helped write that wrote this, which the book is a direct sequel to that movie, Night of the Living Dead. And he has the rights to Living Dead.
Oh.
So that's how the way that goes. But yeah, the book was a direct sequel to Return of the Living Dead, or Night of the Living Dead. And then when Dan O'Bannon got involved, he didn't really care that it was a direct sequel so much and changed it a little bit.
Okay.
Dan O'Bannon, this is his 3rd appearance on our show.
Yeah.
He co-wrote and helped make Dark Star and Alien. He wrote Alien.
And I guess people don't want to give him credit for that. They talk about on this commentary I watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For Alien?
Mm-hmm. I don't know why. But like they try to take away his credit for writing Alien.
Man.
Weird.
Yeah.
But
especially if you've seen Dark Star, it's
right
taken right out of that.
And there's stuff in this where like you can see that he likes certain aspects of suspense. They kind of carry over into this too. This
is his first time directing too.
Dan O'Bannon, I think, is the only person connected to this that I would consider to be a name that you should know.
Yeah. Well, what's his name? Silva? Don Calfa. I've seen him in tons of stuff. He plays that mortician guy across the street from the place. And Clu Gulager, you see him in lots of stuff, but yeah, Dan Bannon's the biggest.
He's like the guy.
Yeah. For me, anyway.
This movie, I just wrote down Rudy Ricci, John Russo, and Russell Streiner as the people who wrote this.
Oh, yeah.
Because I guess Dan is given a written by credit, and they got the story by credit.
Yeah, Dan O'Bannon gets the screenplay. Yeah, Rudy Ricci, John Russo, and Russell Streiner. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I've got this Shout Factory release, and it has 4 different commentaries. One with, I think, that a guy who wrote a book about the history of this kind of intellectual property. Or the guy who wrote this book. I don't know. I didn't really.
Well, one of those guys, I think it's Rudy Ricci or John Russo, is the one that wrote the book. Is the other guy is George Romero's ex-partner that started the whole zombie thing.
Then there was a commentary with Dan O'Bannon, and that's the one I almost watched. And then there was another one with somebody else. Like stunt performers or something, like something specific.
Which one did you watch then?
I watched the cast and crew one.
Oh, okay.
I'm very happy I did. Because this whole time, you know how I'll be talking about a commentary, and I'm like, well, they didn't even talk about what's going on in the scene. They're just talking about the road it took to make this movie.
Right.
They do talk about a lot of stuff that you're cool. Visually seeing. And then about halfway through, it just gets wild, and it's a trip. But on that commentary was William Stone, the production designer, Don Calfa, who plays Ernie.
Yeah, Ernie, that's his name. Clu Gulager plays Bert. Bert and Ernie are in this movie.
Yeah, they make that joke. Leannon Quigley plays Trash. Brian Peck, who plays Scuzz.
Scuzz is in this movie a lot.
Yeah, he is. a lot. Beverly Randolph, who played Tina, and Alan Troutman, who was the tar man.
What about the other girl? She wasn't on it?
No. So it's just those guys.
Because she was supposed to be Trash.
Yeah, but she got pregnant. She dropped out.
Well, it wasn't. I heard it was she didn't want to be naked in movies anymore. Because she had already made movies where she's predominantly naked, if you know what I mean. She didn't want to do it anymore. And what's her name? Quigley is like, yeah, okay.
Well, according to her, Trash was already cast, and they went into production with her. And she auditioned for a different role, but then she said that she got pregnant and had to drop out, and she took it over. She did do the whole, because the audition was to do basically a strip dance, and she did it.
Yeah,
she wore a bikini under there. But yeah, she's like, I went to his house, and because they said, well, you had to get naked for him? She's like, well, yeah, I danced and I stripped my clothes off, and then I think it was Brian who's like, yeah, this is how I was auditioned. And they're like, well, did you get naked too? And he's like, yeah, I was wearing this satin pair of panties, but it was just joking around.
Yeah, the documentary kind of thing I watched said that the other girl, I can't remember her name, Sweeney, something like that. She was a performer at an exclusive club that Dan O'Bannon used to go to, which was a strip club. Mm-hmm. And they became friends, and he would buy her drugs and stuff. And that's why she was going to be cast in the movie. And and then she said she didn't want to be naked anymore. So,
well, she could have just told everybody, hey, I'm pregnant, I gotta do something else. And her real reason was, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, right. So we'll keep talking about that, but although there is nudity in this movie, it's not predominant, and it's not that kind of movie.
It is a little, I would say, not gratuitous in the way of it's gross.
It's not gratuitous because once she's okay. We should go back. There's a scene where she's talking to I can't remember his name. You just said the actor's name, the black guy. No, they're sitting by a grave, and she's like, "Did you ever wonder what it'd be like to be killed by? I want to be killed by 100 bunch of old men ripping me to shreds." Yeah, and then that's what happens But she has that kind of like, that character has that kind of mentality. So she gets on a tomb and starts taking off her clothes. And then for the rest of the movie, she's naked. Mm-hmm. And I heard a long time ago that they did that. And then people from the studio, because, adult people have hair places, they're like, you can't have that in the movie. So she removed it. And they're like, can you put it back? And they're like, no, go away.
Don, funny enough, you said that audition for this. He had big.
Who?
Don.
Oh.
Calfa. Calfa. Had a big mustache when he auditioned. And all these people were looking at him. They're kind of looking at him side-eyed. And he does this thing, and they're like, and they kind of pause there, and he's like, I can shave it. So his commitment to being able to shave his mustache,
that's cool,
was something that got him the part. But I just think that the nudity part didn't really need to be in the movie.
It didn't.
It doesn't really
once
hurt
it happens,
anything,
it makes sense. And then she don't. She does have a shawl on at one point when when they finally get her. Yeah.
I just, it's not that it's bad or anything like that. I did feel like it's kind of juvenile.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's we're gonna have our punk people, they're gonna be naked, kind of like Beavis Butthead-y kind of joking about.
Yeah, it might have been Dan O'Bannon, but one of the guys was like, we were making this movie for horny teenage boys.
Yeah.
And then when they premiered it, and he found out that it had a huge female audience too, and he's like, well, I would have had Freddie be naked too. Not I would have just taken it out. I would have had him too.
Give something for the ladies.
Yeah, that's the scene. Is that up on the screen right now? Mm-hmm. That's the part they foreshadow and then pay off with where she's talking about that. So the Return of the Living Dead is called The Return because it's supposed to be a sequel. It's Night of the Living Dead was something that actually happened. Yeah. And the government tried to cover it up, be all hush-hush about it. And they've got the canisters. It's Freddy's first day at this medical supply warehouse. Mm-hmm. And he's getting a tour. And what is his name? The other guy's name? He's played by James Karen.
I don't know.
I forgot. Anyway, the older guy tells him that story. Mm-hmm. And they go downstairs, and there's canisters of dead people that are filled with 2,4,5-trioxin. Mm-hmm. And they're like, man, aren't you afraid this is going to leak? And he's like, this is made by the government. These won't leak. And he smacks it, and all the trioxin comes out and right into their face. Yeah. And starts bringing stuff in the building, the medical supply building, to life because they have a cadaver and they have split dogs in there.
So a lot of that was real, and a lot of it was donated by an actual. They said the name of it, but the California local thing was an ornithological society donated a whole bunch of that stuff. So a lot of what they're saying is real stuff. Like the science is real science,
right?
The terminology is real terminology, which adds to the authenticity of the movie.
Because it starts off, doesn't say it's a true story, but it gives it the date, July 3rd, whatever, and all that stuff. Like it's real. It's very cool.
When I was a kid and I first saw this movie, you told me it was a real story.
Well, yeah.
And it scared the hell out of me. Also get a very yellow jaundiced zombie in the very beginning there.
Well, yeah, it's a cadaver. And it's hilarious.
Like overly yellow, though.
There's pictures, a couple of them. You got his face, and then when they cut his head off. But Trioxin gets out, and then the two guys are knocked unconscious. Well, they die, literally. Yeah. And there he is, the cadaver, and he's hung up by his head. Yeah. So when he comes back to life, they're like, "What's that sound?" And you just hear this, and the guy's hooked up by his head and his arms and leg. It's not supposed to be funny.
No.
But man, it cracks me up. Maybe it is supposed to be funny.
Well, the movie is a horror comedy.
It is. And that I just think that's a funny joke. So then they get him down and he starts running around trying to tackle him and bite him and stuff. And they get him in the room and lock the door. And then they hear another sound. Arf, 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 and they've got dogs that are split down the middle like this way.
Yeah.
So you can see their insides. It's for medical research and stuff, like learning that kind of stuff. And the split dogs are barking and he hits it with a thing and it's arf, arf, arf. And they're going like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Coughing and stuff. So then they call the boss. Put up Randy, the picture. It's got well, you didn't see it. So an old guy and a young guy, but they're facing each other like this, and they're figuring out what to do. And he's like, why don't we call the boss?
Yeah.
So they're going to call the boss, and I want to talk about something on the picture. That's why I'm stalling so bad. Because I thought it was pretty funny. And then
a lot of the insects. So there's a wall of butterflies.
They're not butterflies.
They're cutouts from the book, and he's fanning it.
Yeah,
to make a move like that.
Yeah, I just thought that was really clever, that butterfly part.
Yeah,
that even those are coming back to life. Mm-hmm. But go ahead, put it back up there, Tom. All right, see right in the middle. There's an eye chart.
Yeah,
the eye chart says, Bert is a slave driver and a cheap SOB and is going bald too. Ha ha ha. And that's the other character that's the boss's name. I just thought that was hilarious. And I was reading it this time when I watched it. I was like, that says Bert is a...
They comment on that too.
Do they?
There's a lot of stuff in the background that they comment on. There's in one of the offices, there's the half dog poster on the wall.
Yeah. There's a bird one too or something too.
Well, directly underneath that is a random naked woman.
There's a lot of those nudie pictures up in here.
Just like weird things like that. And they just pour them out. It's like, oh, well, that's so-and-so's wife. And like, really? No, it's just somebody that Dan thought would be fun to put up there. And a lot of this stuff was filmed in a warehouse that was made to be a filmable warehouse.
Right.
And it looks dirty and dingy and like you can get
it looks real. Yeah.
And all of that's fake. The set designer made it look that way. A lot of when the producers would come to set, they'd get creeped out thinking that they're going to get attacked by spiders or something like that, just because of how actually dirty the whole place looked, which is really impressive.
It is.
Because it does look like they just found a spot. Because a lot of this was they just found a spot. A lot of this stuff is hobbled together, specifically like in the end when the military guy he calls in with the radio. Like they just got done hot gluing that. He pulls that off, and the whole thing starts falling down. Like it wasn't done, and then you get that reverse shot where you got like the printer and the phone thing.
Yeah.
Well, behind him, that set is the foyer of the crematorium. So like they just kind of cobbled a whole bunch of stuff together.
Wow, they did a good job.
They did.
Yeah, wouldn't even.
They really did. And if it wasn't pointed out, you wouldn't have known.
No.
You also go a long time. There's a huge cold open for this before you get to see the credits.
Yeah, they really are developing those characters right there.
Yeah, they do. Like everybody was basically introduced before the credits.
Yeah,
and the logo there, the Return of the Living Dead, that we see in the film, because it doesn't look like that. It's more written in blood.
Yeah.
I guess it's Hunter S. Thompson inspired.
Oh, so that would be Ralph Steadman.
That's
cool.
That's what what's his name? The production designer said.
Right. I wonder if he did the production design on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, because they do the same thing for that logo, the writing on it too.
Oh, maybe.
But like at that point, and then you see the corpse that was in the canister starts to like melt basically, and it was wax, and they just heated it up, and then the screen, that glass on it cracks, and that wasn't supposed to happen. But it looks better than it does.
It does look cool. And
that thing ends up being the Tar Man, which everybody knows him.
He's the...
Oh, it's so gross. And it's hilarious. Brains! I love that.
I guess he's the most iconic zombie. in this and really in a lot of stuff, because there's not really a more he's a zombie other than like Frankenstein.
Yeah, right. That's what I was gonna say. There's no Frankenstein of zombies.
This is also the first time you see fast zombies.
Yes,
zombies were slow before this.
They made and they're smart.
Yeah,
that's when I said send more cops.
Mm-hmm.
They eventually when so the cadaver comes back to life. They don't know what to do. They call the boss. The boss comes, Bert, and they're like, well, what do we do? And he's like, well, in the movie, they killed them by destroying their brains. So the boss is going to, they're going to let him out. The boss is going to brain him with a axe.
Yeah.
A pickaxe. Where was I going with this? So he does that. Oh,
well, because they burn his body.
Yeah, he whacks him with the thing,
and it doesn't.
Doesn't do anything. And then Freddy says, "You mean the movie lied?" Like they're getting their whole plan of action from a movie.
This movie feels like it's a comic book.
It does. It does.
And it was inspired by a lot of those EC comics, like Creep Show or
like Tarman looks like a lot of them people that
it does. It fits right. Like I've got them side to side here, and like it looks good.
Yeah.
Like that skeleton and this skeleton, they look good together.
Yeah,
like that.
They do.
So they cut that body up and they put it in the bags.
Yeah, and then they're gonna take it over to Ernie's crematorium. Bad idea, but that's what they're gonna do. So they got all these quivering body parts in bags that were those. Monkeys.
I was about to say they took the symbols off and just 2 battery-powered monkeys in these garbage bags, and it sells it.
Yeah,
really,
it totally
really well.
does.
And it's a cheap thing to do, and they really go into how they don't rely on any kind of CGI or digital effects.
No, none.
I mean, it's 1985, so like there wasn't a whole lot of CGI or digital effects. Right. And he's like, well, this is something we should keep doing. And I 1,000% agree, because it's not, it looks good to have the prop in the shot be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not have to wash over it with something that's very visibly not there.
Like The Thing.
Exactly.
Because that did not work.
Like a lot of idea. Spider-Man Homecoming, he's not there.
Oh.
With the Vulture. So he had a suit, and he was there, but they covered him in CGI the entire time. Bill, how did I write this? So in the car
with all the punks.
Yeah, and
he's in the car with all the punks.
He's reading a comic book.
Yeah, weird stories or something like that.
Yeah, it was Bill's real comic book.
That's funny.
And on the cover of that specific one, Ed Gein's on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And Ed Gein died during the filming of this movie.
Oh, he lived that long?
Yeah. And they had a moment of silence for him.
Oh, that's terrible. Ed Gein was like basically the first serial killer.
Yeah, and he serial killer too.
Yeah, he digged up when he lived in a little tiny house in like Iowa or something with his mom, and when she passed away and he was an adult, he couldn't function. So he would make things out of skin.
Yeah.
Like had bowls that he used out of human skulls and stuff like that. And he's the basis for Norman Bates, Leatherface, even Hannibal Lecter. Yeah. Yeah. Ed Gein is
wacky cannibal psycho mommy lovers are all him.
Yeah. He was making a woman's suit.
Yeah. That's the Buffalo Bill character.
Yeah.
In Silence of the Lambs is also, it's like the split, the intellectual cannibal and the weird
psycho
skin
just
lover.
Nuts.
Yeah.
When you're rubbing peanut butter all over you in your grandma's panties. No, that's from Seven.
From Silence of the Lambs. It had something Hannibal Lecter says. And he just
Hannibal
great
Lecter's
actor.
awesome. Man, he's so good.
Movie. Yeah. So back to, because they burned the body, and
well, the thing is, those punks were they got all those hardcore, got a nose ring attached to your earring, punk people, and then one girl, I forgot her name. Tina. Mm-hmm. They hang out with Tina. Tina and Freddy are like the most straight, normal people ever. And I just thought that was cool that that's the group. They're going to pick him up after work.
Yeah.
And hang and party because they want to party.
Because what else do you do in the middle of a graveyard?
And there's Freddy has a jacket on it and it says F-U on it. Mm-hmm. It says the words F-U. And they're like, what are we going to do when this plays on TV? So they made another jacket that he then reshot the whole thing.
They reshot a lot of this.
Of that stuff. Excuse me. And it says television version on it. Instead of F-U. That's cool. So that's really the story. They're going to meet their friend Freddy. It's his first day at work. An accident happens. Then they go over to Ernie's to burn the things.
To burn the body.
To rabid weasels. He's like, what's in there? What are you going to say? It's reanimated human? Eventually, obviously, they do have to say that.
Yeah.
He says it's rabid weasels. He's just got to get rid of them.
So, they got pretty dark. Mr. O'Brien and man, why can I not remember the dude's name?
Russo?
No, William Stone. They went to crematories to, like, you know what they look like, get kind of a general census of a whole bunch of them to make theirs as believable as possible. And there was a lot of stuff that happens in crematoriums that they were told, every single one of them that left, some employee ran up to them and was like, I gotta tell you, they have sex with the bodies before they burn them. They're having sex with these bodies. And they're like, oh, gross. There was one place that would put 3-4 bodies in an oven at a time and cremate them all and then just assume the ashes, which is very illegal. I think it was insanely illegal back then too.
I'm sure it was.
And the doors, the oven doors, they were the one in here, was inspired by just a whole bunch of them to make it look more like menacing and Amityville-ish.
Yeah, it does. It's pretty cool, that door.
And Dan, I don't know why he did this. There was a bunch of lunch bags with like baby Brandon and all this stuff. And he takes one and he's like, well, might as well, and dumps it out to look at the ashes on just a sink counter. And he's like, well, it looks like whatever this powder was, Farragut powder or whatever. And he's like, what are you doing? And he heard somebody comment, so they pushed it back in the bag and put it down so they wouldn't get in trouble.
Damn.
And I was like, what the hell kind of people are you?
Really?
I just couldn't believe that. I could not believe that anybody in their right mind, they weren't in their right mind, they're wackos.
Yeah.
Would do something like that. So going back to the party at the cemetery where she does her strip scene, she was scared to do that.
Huh.
She was scared to get naked. Even though like everything was safe and everything like that, and it was also really, really hot and muggy.
Yeah.
So getting out of those clothes you'd think would be like a nice relief, but no, she was uncomfortable and self-conscious the entire time.
Yeah, I would be too. I don't blame her.
And I guess she wears something to cover her bottom half. And I couldn't tell. It's very seamless. And they say, yeah, I mean, you can't even...
No, you wouldn't.
You can't tell. It's for 1985, like you either assume it's there or you're wearing shorts, but like it's so... There's nothing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so while they're partying over in the cemetery, the Resurrection Cemetery, ironically named.
Yeah.
They're burning the parts of the cadaver. And the split dogs. Get the split dogs too. And you see the smoke go up through the smokestack, and then it starts raining, and it rains down onto the cemetery. And she's like, "Oh, it's burning my skin." And then you see the water going down. That part is really cool.
Yeah.
And then they start pounding on stuff, and they can hear it. And the one guy that you see crawling out is Scuzz. Yeah. There's another time, and I guess he's a zombie too. He's like 3 times he's in this movie. So they come out and they're like screaming and stuff, and the punks are like, "What is that?" And they get scared and run off. So then, well, first of all, when Ernie gets introduced, he's working on a body.
Yeah.
And you see that big bruise. So they probably got that idea from going to the actual place. Because wherever you're laying at, they do that in the blood, or the blood pools there.
Yeah.
Which is going to call back to that, too. But he's got that big pipe, and he's listening to the piece of music he's listening to was called The Panzers Are Rolling Forward in Africa, because he was supposed to be an escaped Nazi.
Yeah.
And he's got like a picture of Eva Braun, and the pistol he's got is a Walter P38, but they kind of abandoned that. I don't know why, but he's got all that stuff, and they come in and make a deal with him to destroy the body parts. So then they're getting Freddie and the other guy are getting sicker and sicker, and they're getting their skins getting the wrong color. Yeah. And they call the paramedics, and they're like, I'm not getting a pulse. And they're like, what are you talking about? So they switch people, and they're like taking their temperature, and they're like, well, what is it? It's like 76, 78. What's that? Room temperature. And they got blood pooled on him. That picture right there is after they throw acid in his face. So they're dead. They just don't know it yet,
right?
Basically, and then they die.
The examiner who was doing that on the cadaver there, everything he was saying was also very, very accurate. And very, very real. Like
busting out the rigor mortis.
And they bring up the pooling blood too, and they say that's why it sucks when you die and you lay on your face, because that's where it's all going.
Oh man, yeah, right.
The guy who played Clu was cast the day before shooting his scenes.
You know who else they wanted to have?
I got Leslie Nielsen.
But he cost too much.
Yeah. So I think that was really it was really like, I didn't say like a hot potato, but like you were basically whatever you had, you were doing as soon as you can do it, because there really wasn't anything else you can do. Also had a budget of like,
I'll tell you what the budget was.
1.3 million or something. Very low.
$3 to $4 million, and it made 14.
14, yeah. It was a huge hit. Big hit. And I bet it did really well in video sales too, because this artwork alone.
Yeah.
I'm glad I rebought this, because I had the other Blu-ray that has like I don't know, it's the Tar Man, but he's like
green.
No, it's got like some, I want to say like Day of the Dead kind of Mexican inspired paint on his face.
Yeah, that's not
cool.
And
they did that with a lot. It was like a Walmart thing where they did it with like House of a Thousand Corpses and that kind of stuff. Like they'll take a handful of movies and put it in like the pop art collection or the Passport collection, and they did it with that too, and it was like cool, but at the same time it's like, well,
there wasn't nothing wrong with the old one. That's what I say. I want the old one.
And I like this a lot, because this has more of that like video store,
yeah, it totally does,
VHS vibe. And the steelbook that's coming out has I can't remember her name, but she's like screaming on the table, and then you open it up and look at the back half, and it's half the body.
The half lady?
Yeah.
The half
but she's still young.
There. Yeah.
So it's before really? She got all gross.
Oh, cool.
So it's literally like she's dying.
Yeah, that's cool.
And like that's a cool idea. And I get it, like it's fun, cool artworky, but like I don't know, I think this has more charm to it.
Way more charm. Yeah, so
and they when they went to these crematoriums, they spent hours watching people burn. Like, I mean, I don't know. It feels like torture.
I only have to watch one.
They're like, yeah, we spent hours watching bodies burn. Bodies too, because like it takes a while.
Yeah.
And I guess the heart is
like Ernie says, it's just one big muscle.
Yeah. So it's just I'm glad, because it adds a lot of authenticity to this, especially because they're trying to sell it as a true story.
Right.
But man, you're just torturing yourself at that point.
Seriously.
Oh, man, I'm so because we're getting to the point where the dead start coming and start attacking. Man, the scariest door. Yeah, so we talked about a lot of this. 30 minutes into the movie, everything goes bad. That's when I timed it. So like, you got, and it's pretty. Like the movie's only an hour and a half long. Yeah. So like it's
moves along.
End of Act
pace.
1. Yeah. The zombies are here and everything starts going wrong. So you have a whole nother hour of just like
mayhem.
And they don't shy away from it either. So like there's a lot of really, really good makeup and really, really good suits and really good all this.
The zombies look good.
Zombie effects. Yeah. And they spend a lot of time with it. And it's appreciated because again, like this is a movie that could have had shaky cam or cut away, or even did what the first one did, where you just had a bunch of people with eyeshadow.
Right. Yeah. And just lumbering.
The Tar Man alone really goes to show you like the care they put into it. Yeah. That goop he's covered in is the same stuff they put inside jelly donuts.
And milkshake is called Methicel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's edible.
And he was he's a puppet, and I didn't know that. He was done by Alan Troutman.
Yeah,
he worked on the Muppets and Jim Henson stuff.
He was in the suit too. It was a suit.
Yeah, but the one part I love when I'm pretty sure it's Bert. They go down there and he's walking, and he hits him in the head with a baseball bat. His head off. That looks so good.
Well,
and it cracks me up.
Alan is in the suit the majority of the time, and he did all that walking himself. Like that, he brought that to the character. And being a Muppet puppeteer, like I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does it good.
They then had to find somebody who's literally a head shorter than him to put into that suit.
Oh, is that what they did?
Yeah, to whack the head off.
I always wondered how they did that.
It was that's why it looks so good. Is that he really got a head whacked off, and the other person just was wandering around. But the whole reason why he got cast was because they needed a tall, skinny guy. He was 6'2" and like 120 pounds.
Like the alien guy.
Yeah.
The guy in the alien suit.
He just kind of fit what they needed him to do. And I want to say, and so they're in the basement. She goes up the stairs and then falls through the stairs.
Yeah.
They didn't tell her.
They didn't tell her that.
She was really upset about that.
I don't doubt it.
And then they have a stunt lady do it. So that's because she has to hold on to it. Right. So they let the stunt lady do that part. And then they had her run up again and just fall right through. So she has her running up the stairs a whole bunch of times and falling down. And she just got really upset with it. Just to then like get like sucked up or something like that. Like she gets how she dies.
Tina?
Yeah.
Tina doesn't die.
She dies.
She's the one that the clean cut girl goes in there. She's looking for Freddy. Then Tarman's brains, and she runs up the stairs, goes through the thing, and then she hides in a locker. And then the Tarman, because they're intelligent zombies, tries to pry the door open, and that's when the other punks come in.
I thought she died.
No, well, do you want to say the end now? Because she does die
eventually. Yeah.
No, but she doesn't get eaten or anything.
I thought the Tar Man got her.
No.
I could have sworn that's
the Tar Man, when the punks come in and he goes, more brains, and gets what's his name? The main lead punk guy, and starts eating his brains.
Or maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe that's the guy. That main big punk guy.
Yeah.
He had passed. And he's kind of a big tough dude, but he was a real softy in real life. He was a very nice guy. A lot of swearing happens in this movie, all improvised. Anytime they start swearing, they went off script. Like whatever they're saying and having swear words in it was an improvised line. They also rented a whole bunch of those. They said they rented every single tombstone Warner Brothers had, which I think is kind of funny.
That's cool. Because it looks like a real cemetery.
And here's where it happens. So In the commentary, a little over 30 minutes goes by. Tarman starts attacking, and the whole cast and crew start acting out what's going on screen.
Oh, really?
So, like, basically from here on out, they're kind of playing their character. Whoever's playing a zombie is now talking as a zombie and attacking the other people doing the commentary.
That's cool.
It became a whole show. Because there's a lot of pandemonium going on now. There's a lot of, like, the ambulance shows up. They get attacked. I think a squad car or something comes in next. And they're like, oh, my God, they're killing us. Oh, my God. Brains, send more. A whole bunch of stuff. And everything. He says, like, send more dicks, he says at one point, send more, all this stuff. And they really had fun with it. And it's just got to a point where I was like, oh, they're just screwing around now.
Yeah.
Like,
that's awesome. That's worth buying that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And that's why I said I was glad I watched this one, because, like, you listen to the Dan O'Brien one, he's probably going to tell you again, like, the road of making this movie.
Right.
You do it with just the art director. He's going to tell you a bunch of this stuff, but then he just got a whole bunch of friends in a recording booth. They're just going to start goofing off.
Yeah, that's cool. So this is the fast zombies, and they are specifically eating brains, not just cannibals that are eating people. Yeah. And that one half a zombie, they start interrogating, and she says it's because it hurts to be dead. And that's why they're eating brains. And that was just cool that they have a zombie there that they can interrogate.
Yeah,
that was
tied
awesome.
it down.
Yeah.
They did eat real brains on the set of this.
Yeah, they did. Calf brains. And Dan O'Brien did too. To say that
he only had a handful
asking,
of them. So
how many do you need?
Well, by day 3, you're going to want more because they start getting gross.
Delicious.
And they said anybody who ate the brains got paid an extra $5.
Ooh, $5. Well, $5 in 1985 is probably like 20. Yeah, now not bad.
And he he's like, "Joke's on you! $5 is $7 Canadian." Said in zombie voice, and I was like, cool. I love this. They're having so much fun. But it got to the point where, like, the cast members themselves started looking all sick because they're eating basically spoiled food.
Yeah. That's a bad idea to eat calf brains.
Very bad idea. I think it's a bad idea. Maybe
back then it wasn't, but like you wouldn't want to do that kind of thing now because mad cow and stuff like that.
Well, just don't eat a mad cow.
How do you know?
Eat a happy cow.
Eat a happy cow.
All the cast
formerly happy cow. A terror. Oh no!
The cow formerly happy. The caskets were also rented. So they didn't build these caskets. They didn't buy these caskets. They rented them out. And it occurred to one of them, was like, how cool would it be if you got one of the caskets that was featured in this movie?
Yeah, really. That would be cool.
And the cast was eaten by zombies. The police station was the art department. They ran out of time and money to make a whole new office, so they just threw it up in there.
Works.
And, you can't really tell. That's what I really like about this stuff, is that the corners they cut aren't noticeable corners.
Right. Because you only need to film something of people talking for a minute, and that's it.
Exactly. The helicopter voice was Dan O'Brien himself.
Yep.
And in the beginning, where the punks are walking by the homeless guy and he throws a dime or something at him, that is the set producer. Right. Those are the cameos of these two. But yeah, so I mean, it's really just pandemonium.
Yeah.
For the next,
like, the cops
40
show
minutes.
up, and then there's swarms of zombies just out of nowhere, whoosh, coming in. Yeah.
There's one, I wish you got to see it more. You see it every now and again in the background, but there's I think it's the naked lady, and her jaws all...
Yeah, and her brow, too, is, like, messed up. She's monstrous.
I don't feel like you get a really good shot of that. There's a cop behind the door he's shooting, and she comes in and she gets him.
Yeah.
But I think that would have been a really nice, like, coming at the camera effect, because it looks cool that way, too.
Yeah. And it seems like maybe they did, and they just cut it out, but they put all that work in doing that, and then you don't really get to see it too much.
Yeah.
But that is cool too when she gets that cop. That's the awesome part.
And I mean, what else do you do? Everything's going haywire. They just keep spreading. So they call the military, and the military.
Yeah, they go down and they see the number on the canister, and they call them right up.
And well, the military's like, yeah, no, we're gonna get it solved for you.
Right. And if you live in Louisville, Kentucky, you got nuked.
So they go to a convention up there. A lot of these people are regulars at this convention. Not WonderCon, but something like that. And they'll have people like, oh, I know exactly where you filmed that. That was really cool here. It wasn't filmed in Louisville, Kentucky.
Right. It was filmed in Los Angeles.
Yeah, they don't want to break it to them, but like they're like, well, yeah, yeah, I'm glad you know where it is. The shot of I think it's supposed to be a tank.
Yeah, it's a nuclear kind of tank, and it was a real thing, a surplus thing.
That was a miniature.
Or the thing I said it was a surplus tank.
He said they built it.
Well, it makes sense that it was a miniature, way more than it was a surplus tank.
Not only did the guys who it's not Focus, but the same people who did the Terminator, the first Terminator, they were working on the first Terminator at the same time they were working on this, and they were the ones who did all these miniatures.
Right.
So that when the nuke drops and the town blows up, that's also a miniature. And for whatever reason, you get this inside shot of the missile being loaded. Yeah. And that's stop motion. I don't know why. Like when you point it out, like if you go rewatch that scene, you can see it is stop motion. But I don't know why you would do stop motion for it's the only part of the movie.
A mechanical anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's I don't know, you get a pen cap, you just roll it down a slightly inclined thing. I think that works just as fine. But they did, and the whole stop motion scene.
Maybe to make sure you can see the nuclear logo on it.
But they shoot that nuke. Town blows up. Smoke goes up in the air.
Rain starts coming down.
And the cycle just...
Yeah, and then they even had that one skeleton thing come out with the party part. That's awesome.
The TV version of this that doesn't have such a bleak ending.
How could it have a happy ending? Well, how other ending does it have?
I don't know, but he said that
I never saw it on TV.
There was another ending, maybe that wasn't as bleak, or he just didn't like how bleak it ended.
Oh,
the set designer.
You got to have it on. That's the end.
I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse.
The cycle to start all over again. You kind of have to have that.
Rain doesn't form that quick, though. I feel like you should have a little bit more time than just like, here it is, rain. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
The inspiration for the 2,4,5 trioxin was it's two different compounds that they make Agent Orange out of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is a defoliant. And they were saying that they were made the 2,4,5 trioxin as a military weapon kind of thing, like Agent Orange. They didn't say Agent Orange in it, but that was the whole point, was that the military made this stuff for war and it don't work right. And now we all have to pay for it, especially Louisville.
Which isn't very far from here. Ooh. Mr. Randy.
Hello.
They said his friend Don Bluth said, if you can't outrun Frankenstein or the mummy, then you deserve to die. What mummy zombie creature do you think is the most iconic in pop culture? What is the one that you think of when you think of zombie?
Probably like Scooby-Doo zombies. That'd probably be first.
Okay.
And then movie zombie. I don't know. Most iconic, I don't know, but the I Am Legend ones are good. I thought they were pretty cool looking.
Yeah, they're not really zombies. Same with 28 28 whatevers later.
Yeah, it's like the next evolution. I Am Legend.
Minecraft.
The Crazies too.
Yeah, is a remake, probably of a whole bunch of movies. But Vincent Price was in a movie called The Last Man on Earth, which is based on the book I Am Legend, which the movie I Am Legend is based on as well. I think honestly the Will Smith one is the superior version.
Yeah.
I think it's a better story.
What is?
The Will Smith one.
Oh, I didn't see the Vincent Price one. I like that Will Smith one.
You haven't
and
seen
Mike
the Vincent Price
Patton
one?
does all the screaming for those zombies.
Yeah.
From Faith No More.
Do you remember when he told us that the first time? He does that, and he does the zombies from
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead.
Oh yeah, Left 4 Dead too, yeah.
None of the zombies say their names. And Tom just goes, "Oh, so he went boomer," and it's like, no, he didn't do that. I don't know. I think this movie's great. I think you should check it out. I think it's a very fun,
yeah.
Especially like it's one of those like midnight special movies. You know, you throw it on,
and it's not. I don't think it's scary at all.
No, I think it's a good time.
It does have some suspense and stuff, but it's not really scary.
I don't think, because when I was a kid, I was very scared of this movie, but watching it as an adult, I don't think it's anything that you couldn't show a kid either.
Well,
when I say kid, I don't mean like a 4 or 5 year old.
Right. But like I saw it when I was 15 or 16,
movie.
So
it's a good teenage movie.
Yeah,
it's one of those movies like a rite of passage. Yeah, kind of like how Fight Club is. Like this kind of is too.
Yeah, you should definitely watch. If you've never seen Return of the Living Dead, you should
check it out.
And if it's been a while, you should watch it again because man, it's a good movie. It's so cool.
I'd like to get Joe on the podcast and be like, "Hey, what do you think?" Because he's at that age where like this perfect time for him.
Yeah, he like I know he. Did he have your copy of it?
He did,
and I don't know if he ever watched it or not.
Well, he keeps telling me he can't watch this stuff, and I have to keep reminding him that he's got a PlayStation and it will play. He's a silly kid. Yeah,
if it was on VHS, he would have already seen it.
Weird. How weird is that?
That old stuff.
I got these here. I got The Lost World, which he really likes because it's got the reflective T-Rex on it. I got The Phantom Menace, and I got Jurassic Park over here. And Raiders up here. These are Joey's. I said, "Hey, Joe, can I borrow these?"
I think Star Wars 1 is technically mine.
You got the big boxed one. This is not that one.
Okay.
Is it widescreen? Because when I bought that on VHS, it was widescreen.
It doesn't say it's widescreen.
I think it is because it's got gold and the full screen is silver.
Oh, okay. Well, normally they'll have widescreen up there at the top.
Yeah, sometimes.
But yeah, check them out. They're
They're VHS. Don't bother. Watch the widescreen versions. You see the whole movie.
I love that format of just throwing it in and watching it and being done with it.
No, then you got to rewind it, or you got to rewind it. Then you got to watch it.
I just love how like
analog
streaming services are doing that. They're not doing this. There's no menu in your streaming service.
Oh, yeah, right. It just starts.
Bonus features or cool things.
Lots of times, though, with those, you got to go through like 10 minutes of previews.
Trailers.
Yeah.
Hey, some of these have that, too. Like, I'll put on a...
a lot of Redbox ones that were for Redbox,
mm-hmm.
They have like 2 things on the menu. One is the theatrical trailer, but you play the movie. When you first put it in, it would start playing trailers and then go to that cheesy menu of 2 things.
I have the remake of The Evil Dead, and I put that in, and it was the first one because normally I'll put it in, I'll hit menu so I can go to the menu,
right?
But I didn't do that one on that one. I just started playing trailers, and I was like, well, this is kind of nostalgic.
Yeah,
I kind of like that because it's. I mean, they're movies.
Where did you get it? Did you get it from my house?
No, I got it
because
from
mine
was
a Redbox one, and it does that.
Mine's just a Blu-ray release. I kind of do like it because there'll be trailers for movies I never even heard of.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have a problem with trailers
and
whatsoever.
It's because like when you go to the movies, you see trailers before your movie too. So it's just kind of neat.
Yeah.
To have that at home too. But the whole world is changing, and now we've got horror movies that really, really scare you, made by really, really scary people. And then you've got stuff like this where it's just a good time.
Yeah, it is. Listen, I just saw a movie. It's new. It's called The Damned. And it was pretty good. It's an atmospheric thing. If you like, what's his name stuff, like the Nosferatu guy, it's real accurate to that. And it's like this fishing village. Mm-hmm. And they don't save these people that get shipwrecked. So when their bodies wash up, they're going to take care of them. And there's an old lady and a younger lady. The old lady's like, you got to tie them down and you got to put nails in their feet or so they don't come back after you. Huh. Just that whole thing. So they don't do that. They're like, you're superstitious. Mm-hmm. You're whatever. It'll be fine. So then they start going, I don't think that anything comes back to life. Well, one guy wasn't dead. And he's like taking their food and stuff like that. They think they're cursed now. So they go and tie up those bodies, put nails in their feet. They're like, we should have listened to the old lady. That movie's pretty cool.
I'm showing Courtney the Final Destination movies.
Yeah, I'm going to watch some of them too. Like that new one I want to check out.
It was building up to the new one because...
I saw the new one.
Did you really?
Yeah,
everybody's loving the new one. Have you seen the old ones?
No.
Have you seen Saw?
Yeah.
You know how like Saw is like...
Gross to be gross?
Well,
it felt like I was watching an iFunny, like...
Gross to be gross
movie.
Yeah.
So, but like with Saw... It's the story. They've got a story, and then they've got the kills.
Yeah.
And the story, as the story goes on, it gets more and more and more and more
convoluted or whatever.
Well, like soap opera. Like like a soap
as the movies
opera.
go on, it is like a soap.
And then, but then the kills keep getting gory and gory and gory and gory.
Yeah.
And people love them, and they're held to a very specific standard.
Yeah.
Final Destination is bad. That's how I introduced it to Courtney. Like the story isn't very good. The acting isn't very good.
I think it's kind of cool though, because you always hear somebody that's like, I know I got this feeling and I got off the plane and then the plane crashed.
Yeah.
And then, well, you were supposed to get on that plane.
Seth MacFarlane.
So death is coming to get you. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane.
And I like how Tony Todd has a cameo and he's weird.
That's his last
suspicious thing.
And they let him improvise a lot of that.
Yeah, they did.
Wow, I should be.
He's a good actor.
Him. Yeah,
he's a very good actor.
He is a good actor,
and he's like, he's death. There's no way he's not. You know
what?
Tony Todd.
Really, I wouldn't think that.
You don't think he's death? They go to him and he's like, "You can't escape the design, man. That's gonna come for you." And he's dealing with dead bodies, and
he was researching all that kind of because he's a detective.
Well, as we watch these movies, I don't
remember seeing a guy like that.
Because he's dead now, so he wouldn't be in that one.
Yeah.
No, he is in the new
they
one.
explained
the new one.
That's his last movie.
I thought he died before that.
No, before it came out. But he filmed it. Yeah, he's in it, and that's. I guess he's real gaunt looking, and they let him improvise most of what he was going to say, and he knocked it out of the park.
Cool.
That's what they say. I haven't seen it.
Bald black guy.
Oh yeah, he's a big crucial part.
Yeah, well,
I'm not going to spoil anything, but he's a big deal.
He's the exposition guy.
Yeah, and like the beginning scene, that character, it was supposed to die.
Tony Todd was supposed to die?
Yeah.
And
then I don't want to tell anything else, but
I don't care.
No,
so you can spoil it for me, but
the
don't.
Storyline,
spoiler alert.
They make it in this one. Like if any other movie doesn't have they don't connect. This one actually does do that.
No, I guess the one before this one connects.
It connects
to the first one.
Everyone.
Have you seen all of them?
I've seen the first two, and I know that I think the Final Destination ends where they escape death, but they get on the plane from the first one.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool twist.
Yeah, it is.
In my opinion, that's a great way, especially if that was supposed to be your last one.
Yeah, and I guess this one has something.
This one, I think, literally wraps everything. You can Is a penny something that still exists in the movies you see?
No.
Okay.
A penny?
A penny.
No.
Okay.
That's
so
cool.
Don't worry about it. But they wrap it up, but they can make another one.
Sure, everybody's gonna
I'm
die.
excited to see how because I've seen there's a guy on TikTok.
But I think every story from 1 to now, it attaches, and now you get the lore of what actually happens. No.
Am I missing a penny?
But it explains like the entity or whatever.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good. I've never seen a single one outside of that one though.
There's a guy on TikTok. I think his handle's the props shop or something like that, and he'll go into like how certain things are done.
Oh, the garbage truck thing.
Huh?
Okay, I saw.
Yeah. So, and he did how they did that.
Yeah,
and the proof of concept is the director. So there's a garbage truck. Somebody falls into a garbage truck, and the compactor crushes
the head.
So how they did it was the truck is made out of like I don't know what like I've got one upstairs where like you can put it on a corner and it'll form to the corner so that you can measure it.
Yeah.
So it's made out of one of those, so it'll form to the guy's head where it needs to be as the rest of it makes contact with the flat surface.
Right.
So it looks like it just sliced right through.
Yeah.
And when you see the behind the scenes, I'll show it to you later, of how the proof of concept, how they did it. It's super cool. And it's super effective, even without any of the
without any of the
special effects.
It looks really good.
Like I think there's one where somebody gets pulled through an MRI machine. Or something like that. And it's
something like that.
It's two people laying in it. One person's laying head in, one person's laying feet in. So this guy's feet are where this guy's torso are.
Yeah.
So when they're pulled, they're just being pulled straight. But to us, it looks like he's being crushed backwards. And it's mind-blowing. And this movie got like a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Pretty good. I don't like gory stuff. It was good.
You like gore? I love it.
I don't like it like that.
Watch Kill Bill.
Yeah.
I like gore like this. That's like ridiculous. Like when one of them, a giant pane of glass falls down on a guy.
And the second one.
Wow, that looks good.
Looked unbelievable.
It looked real. And the train, like you see, I like the Mr. X too, where I think there's one where water's coming down and you're like, no, maybe it's the fire one. And you think it's going to be this or, oh no, a lot of them do it. Like the gymnasium one. Did you see that one?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, there's a tack. She's doing gymnastics on the bar.
That's the third one.
And you think she's going to hit that, and that's not what happens.
Oh, wonderful.
And it's way worse.
It's supposed to give like suspense.
Well, so
and
like,
then you're like, oh, whoa.
In the second
and then you're relieved, and then it's disgusting.
Yeah.
In the second one, they get in this terrible car accident, and the driver gets pinned down with this tree that's like crushing her legs. And there's the PVC pipe that went right through the back of the car and got T.C. Carson's character. And she sees it jagged, almost got her right in the back of the head. The firefighters come and they put the jaws of life in the thing to get her out. She's like, hey, will you be careful with doing that? And he goes, yeah, and jams it back in there, sets off the airbag, and it impales her. That whole time, because there's a gasoline leak over here.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? Not Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but
what?
It's like over the top, like mousetrap kind of.
What's his Goldberg?
Rube Goldberg, esque.
Yeah,
insanity.
That's how they're described. Yeah, always.
The whole like, there's a leak over here. The gasoline's leaking here. It's going down this thing. You think it's gonna blow up over here, but she gets impaled this way. She drops a cigarette. It hits the gasoline, which ignites over here. Blows up the car.
Yeah.
The wire comes and slices the other guy to bits. It's, oh my God.
The one thing about the new one, I'm like, that's stupid, is the guy getting that thing caught on he's got one of these things.
He gets unhooked.
Does he? Because why don't you just pull down the whole fan? Before I'm going to let this
spoiler pull. That whole thing is one of those.
Yeah.
Is one of those
cool.
like,
that's cool.
And then
Mr. X.
He don't even die. he like don't die. That way, they'd all die in the movie. But
I'm interested to watch that movie.
It's pretty good.
To see how
I like the whole premise too, that the one woman just secludes herself so her whole family can live.
That
And then when she's like, forget it, the whole thing starts up. That's awesome.
And that's why the Balls guy was able to live. Was because that lady also.
I haven't gotten
alive.
that far in the movie. I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's talking about Tony Todd.
Also, Tony Todd was in the Indiana Jones game, the brand new one. Look, you got your Indiana Jones has a revolver, right?
Sure.
They don't tell you have your revolver.
Why I would just assume it.
It's like, you press this button, you pick up an improvised weapon. There's hundreds of millions of things around you can just pick up and start beating people with.
Nice.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Courtney was on the phone, so I was just messing around with it, and I had like a bottle in my hand, and I hit the button, and he throws the bottle and pulls out his gun. I was like, oh, shit. Back in heat. Tony Todd shows up, and he's a giant. He's huge. He's the whole reason you're on this quest. And you can't beat him in the first one. He knocks you out the first time you feed him. Then I'm here, he's coming to beat me up, and he's hard to beat. So I was like, I shoot him, and he doesn't go down. I'm like, oh, shit. That game's great. He's a good actor. He's obviously known for Candyman and
I hate
stuff
Candyman.
Like
that movie sucks. It makes no sense.
I don't know if it was Urban Legend first or the Urban Legend came after that.
I think it was based on urban legends, but it's a made-up thing.
Oh, okay.
What's his name? Clay Barker made that. But it just doesn't make any sense. I'm a slave. They torture me to death. Mm-hmm. So what am I going to do? Pick on more of my own people.
I don't
kill them.
Well, it was whoever says his name 5 times in a mirror.
Right.
And I don't understand.
So why? I can see you. I'm like, and you're a ghetto kid. I'm not going to kill you.
Is it evil spirit?
I'd be like, hey, take me to some rich white people. Let's get them.
And you would think that's how it would go.
That's what I would do if I was a
especially if it's going to be tied to like any kind of violent oppression towards any kind of group. You would think that it's seeking vengeance on the people who did it. Right. Like in the new one, there's a really cool scene where
I never saw the new one because I don't like the old one. But I like that guy that's in it. He plays Black Mantis and Aquaman.
Yeah.
That guy's a good actor.
He ends up becoming Candyman in this new one because it's like a vessel. It'll go down however. But the girlfriend gets locked up and she summons Candyman. Uh-huh. And I don't know, like she's like, all right, well, I guess who's going to die today? And kills the cop who's been a problem the entire movie.
Huh.
Goes and kills the cop.
That makes sense.
And he has this monologue about evil and humanity. It's pretty a neat scene that I wish the whole movie was. Unfortunately, I didn't really care for the new one. But again, I'm not a big Candyman
Me neither.
fan.
I am a fan of the Return of the Living Dead, though.
I am too.
And everybody should check that out, especially Randy Official. You'd like it, Randy.
I think
the gore is not like anything like Final Destination.
Jordan Peele, not Jordan Peterson. I think Jordan Peele should make a movie like this. Yeah, I think it'd be really cool. Because he's a good horror guy.
I just recently watched Keegan-Michael Key on Saturday Night Live. It was his only time hosting it so far. And he's like, I think I'll take some questions from the audience. And somebody stands up and he's like, says something about how happy are you about to get out? He's like, oh, you almost had it. Almost. I'm another guy. You almost had it.
I'm kind of surprised he's not in those movies.
I am too. And because they made a movie called Keanu.
Uh-huh.
I have not seen it yet. And Keanu's a cat.
Yeah.
It's like some big action movie built around a cat. But he's like in other stuff, he's just a good actor.
He is a good actor, but he's also, I mean, I think they're friends.
I don't know.
They could be.
They could have had a falling out.
Yeah.
It could be Martin and Lewis.
It could be, or like Jamie and Adam. They work together, and then that's where their friendship ends.
Yeah, right. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But that show was great.
But yeah, check this movie out.
Check it out. Definitely.
Check us out. We are on all your social medias. We, we're here. We're square, and we're ready to dare.
And we're ready to party.
Check us out on the grindhousepodcast.com. We also have a Patreon, so go ahead and subscribe to that. There is a very free section, and there's also a paid section where you get exclusive content. And hopefully, I'll be able to figure out how to make a coupon where if you subscribe to the Patreon, you get percentage off of our shop, which is also back up and ready to party. We got a lot of fun stuff and a lot of fun stuff coming your way.
Yep.
So check us out. Like, share, subscribe. View us on all your platforms.
And tell all your friends.
The Grindhouse Podcast. Cheese Film. Out.